Okay, guys, so there's some question about a account named Christy Ann Garza in a couple of the Mica groups on Facebook. And someone was inquiring into them and what they were possibly posting, whether they were Team Mica or Team Not. Um, then we have, some comments to a post that they made, and they're, like, why are you posting this, blah, blah, blah. I know, I do it too. But I'm just going to share with you guys something that I find useful. Part of the way that I continue to not allow JP to set me back as much, because he brings about thoughts and feelings in you that it's really not smiled upon by God. And, then you say things and da 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 da, and you feel them and you mean them. And so then you become to be more like Little Satan Jr. and his crew. And that's not what we're supposed to ultimately be walking in. We're supposed to be more loving, more caring, not necessarily towards him, but we are supposed to continue working on becoming the best versions of ourselves, even though we have to experience things like this. Because for some of us, speaking for me, first of all, it is too easy, baby, to get gangster. We're gonna call it that, okay? It's too easy. Y'all see, I don't have a problem going off and just letting it fly. Okay, and I would dig in your head, and I would dig in your heart with my words. I don't have a problem, but that's not good. It's not good, because without this situation, otherwise, would I be thinking, feeling, talking, acting like this? No, but we're still supposed to maintain the best version and the righteousness the entire time. That is how we continue to win with God, instead of allowing them to win, because it's a plus all the way. See, it's a plus for Satan all the way. They did this thing. We're hurting because of it. We're upset because of it. We're mad because of it, and we just allowing ourselves to be in that, and that affects how you think, how you talk, how you act, or what have you. Even if we give it an excuse, or we just choose to say this is just where I'm at right now, God, you understand, or forgive me later, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, I say all that to say this. I try to look at things sometimes a little differently. So let's say, for instance, with this post here, we know that JP he's not gonna create an account himself. We believe that he did that once, and he very quickly saw, or probably was advised, don't use other people. Okay, that's what you do, use other people. And he took that down, and ever since then, he gave it a minute, so we won't catch on so quickly, that he said, instead of doing it myself, I'm gonna let other people do it. Yeah. And now we see he's using other people. Okay, that's what Satan do. And he's Satan spawned, so we understand that. So, on the other hand, who's using us? God, right? And so we have to be able to see God. We can't just see Satan, we got to see God too. And God is working. He's working so smoothly and so sweetly, we should be rejoicing. Okay, we should be rejoicing. And I think a lot of people can see these works and feel really good about it. Okay, because honestly, since we're beggars, we can't necessarily ask for much more in this situation. And just thank you, God, and we trust in you, and we appreciate, and we're just sitting back and adoring your precious work. And we look forward to you blessing us with whatever else you plan on doing in this situation, and allowing us to witness it. Because a lot of what God does and decides to do about things, that's really, even if we were we experience the hurt and pain or what have you from whatever happened or from that person, a lot of times how God deals with it is really none of our business, and we're not privy to that. And we may go the rest of our lives thinking they got no punishment on earth, and we're hoping for punishment afterwards, but we have no idea what he is doing. Okay, he got a lot to keep up with, right? Okay, so let's see. He doing his thing right here. Look at this. So this is supposed excuse me, this is supposed to be a post of something that I believe came straight from JP, and it's supposed to be interactions between Mica and JP, right? Okay, we know JP is so brilliant. Okay, let's compliment this guy. He is so brilliant that he is showing us his 350 pieces of proof. We just haven't been able to understand that he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. JP came on here running his mouth. And we said, JP, hold up. You told us you was going to give us 350 pieces, over 350 pieces of proof. So can we start to get some of that? A little less lip, a little more proof. And asking, you shall receive. Goodness, boy, my cup is overflowing. I don't know about yours. So here we go. Another blessing on a Sunday too. Look at God. So this is supposed to be between JP and Mica, and it is a voice memo from her saved to someone's Google Drive and then posted to Facebook. Okay, who else would have this but JP? And it is her saying something. What is she saying? Let's see.
Surely you don't want anyone to find out the things that you have done. Surely.
Okay. Now, that sounds like Mica to me. Hopefully, you guys heard the same, because it sounds like Mica to me. Let's play it one more time.
Surely you don't want anyone to find out the things that you have done. Surely.
It's that bad. It's that bad. Because that was some surely. It's that bad. It's that bad. Okay, so I think the intent, I think we all know what the intent was behind posting that. But I don't know about y'all, but for me, it could not possibly be in his favor. It is impossible, in my opinion, for this message to be in JP's favor. I don't care what. I'm not even going to go over, what he could have been thinking that this was shell. We get it already. We already know. Anything bad Mica. That's what he's on. Okay. What specifically, which angle, how, what version, what view. No, it could be 1,000 different narratives if you got that mindset. But, this could not, in my opinion, be in favor for JP. This is your wife, okay, at the time. And pairing it with the other conversation that you have posted, talking about, you got the nerve to say something about what I've done. You sure don't want people to find out the things that you have been doing, because this right here is small change in comparison. Meaning you have been doing some very horrible things, and you would never want anyone to know about these things. So this could not be in your favor, sir. And guys, this further shows don't be mad at Christy Ann Garza. In fact, thank you, Christy Ann Garza, for doing the Lord's work. Okay. This message, it also shows that, in my opinion, Mica was not pleased with your lifestyle and the things that you were doing. Mica also knows that what you have been doing is very, very bad. And you would never want people to know about this. So that puts in the air that this could be a potentially threatening situation for you, your status, your livelihood, probably your freedom, and some other stuff, right? So that puts her in danger from you, because she is saying in a tauntingly, teasingly way, almost as if she was the villain in the movie, you do not want people to find out the things that you were doing. Okay? And if there is some very, very bad things that someone was doing and someone gave hint that they could potentially air that, they could be in danger. Okay? So here, let's put this in a motive pile. Yeah, motive. Let's slide that over. Now let's get to the text messages. All right, let's go. Come on, JP. You are so good at what you do. I just want to compliment you today.
Surely you don't want anyone to find out the things that you have done. Surely.
Okay, so when I clicked on the text message, that message played again. So it's probably meant to rock like that. Okay. Selah. Now this is supposed to be Mica in the gray and JP in the blue. Selah. JP says, the sad thing is, I still forgive you and love you. Does he sound like a forgiving and loving person to us? No, this woman is gone. Usually when people are gone, y'all can be arch nemesis. You can have, I fought my sister my whole life. I can't stand her. We weren't around each other's children. And I'm not saying me. I'm just being just acting out something. I hated him. I couldn't stand him ever. A lot of times people get this little change when somebody passes away, because that's permanent, and it could have been you too. So, they kind of feel like they should have did things differently, or I'm not going to hold that against them anymore because, poor them, they're no longer here, blah, blah, blah. We're not getting that from JP. He is slandering her every which way but loose, every chance that he gets. He rubs stuff in your face. He's that type. We know this. Something like this could be seen by him as the ultimate disrespect and non-compliance. That's a great term to use to describe how he would view somebody stepping out of line, especially his wife. Non-compliance. And, how dare you disrespect the king of the spiderwebs in that manner. So when the lady on TikTok said that one time JP was building his case, I do see how he could think that he was building his case. But on the contrary, he was actually, in my opinion, building his case against himself the entire time. And he still didn't realize that. And so that's why he is presenting us with this now. And he thinks he's helping himself by not doing it from his own platform, which is fine. But he's using his little devil minions. And so, Christy, do you, baby. Do what you're supposed to do here on earth. We just got to make sure we do what we're supposed to do. We're not mad at you. You are hand delivering us these things. Good for you. Okay? Good for you. Good for you too, JP. Y'all are doing a great job, by the way. Just great job. All right. So Mica responds, Asher. And he says, "Well, why are you sending me the names of my children?" Well, he didn't say children. He said kids. So I guess they're goats. These are goats, GB. He says, LOL. Are you wanting to hurt them? Why would that be? See, this is how you know this is him being fake and phony and trying to paint like the lady said, create his, what do you call it? What did I just say a minute ago, y'all? I forgot. He's building a case, yeah. Create this, whole scenario that she's a bad, evil person. So this is a woman that has been for 7+ years, a very, very, very close caregiver of your children, helping raise them. And you're going to assume that because you and her are having hard times, she would want to hurt your children. If we were to try and guess why she's sending the names of your children, we'd come up with different things, but it would not be that. Even in the context of this particular conversation, we still would not think that. Am I right? Are y'all with me? I could, if I was to say, why is she doing this? Oh, because JP, there are other people in your life that you should always keep in consideration when you move, and you don't do that. The many things that this woman has experienced with you and know about you shows that you don't even stop for a second to consider, what impact would this have on my own children and my ex-wife, who is the mother of my children. This is what I'm looking at here. Okay? Not she will want to hurt them. So, you lose on that one. Okay, so then it says Zach. So it says, you're having an affair with my intern at my church, and it was all your idea and your desire. He didn't even want to do it with you. Okay, cool. Y'all, this one here, baby. What, JP? I'm going to show you how smart you are every time. So he says, you're having an affair with my intern in my church. He wants to make that plain. Make it plain. It's not speculation. There is no doubt. I'm confronting her. You see, she's not denying it. This is the conversation we're having. This happened. My intern at my church. Now, this is someone who is making this statement as if he did not have an affair with her, and her being pretty much the same position, because she worked at the church, she was a part of the church, she were the children's nanny basically, and he's done this with other people too, allegedly, reportedly, from the church, who has positions in the church. He's acting as if none of that is in existence. But we must focus on and point out Mica is doing this, because the world is supposed to say, you Jezebel. Like, we're supposed to just be so thrown away with Mica for doing this, as if he has not done it time and time over. This is the mindset of, him and how they teach. This is their mindset. That's very unfortunate. But, fortunately for us, we can see right here clear as day that JP, you probably set this whole thing up. Y'all just bear with me. So he says, and it was all your idea and desire. Okay. So when he was on the phone with DJ, this came out, right before this. So when JP said he coming with 350, listen, look at him. He doing his thing. Good for you, JP. Now he's on the phone with DJ, and he wants to make it clear who called who. Now this would seem like a basic question that someone would have in an affair situation like this. Like, who initiated it? Whose idea was it? Who started it? Who tried first? Like, which side did it come from? You shouldn't want to know the answers, because it's not going to feel good either way. But it's very normal for people to want to know these things. And look at JP. He has the opportunity to ask, and this guy is actually answering. And you know what he says? Mica called me to the beach, and we kissed. It was kind of mutual. But, I don't know why I did it. I just did it. Okay, all of that tells me, and the absence of any type of conversation or proof or whatever of them having an actual affair, ongoing affair, it tells me that this was a once incident, likely. Not to say that there probably wasn't any flirting or any chemistry going on, but for an act to take place. I seriously believe that this was the only time something like this happened between them. I also believed that it's likely for this to be planned and staged by who? Come on now, yours truly, John Paul Miller. Out in the open at the beach. Then it happens to also fit the narrative that he wants to whine about and say, she did it to me 10 years ago, same spot. And she did her first husband, the blah, 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 the boo, the boo, blah, blah. Maybe this was for the divorce, or maybe this was just for a slander for this exact situation we're dealing with right now. But either way, I think this was lined up along with a lot of other things by JP along the way. But this is a motive to me. It has motive written all over it. Her voice note and these text messages and the DJ situation, amongst other things. We don't have DJ to talk to, and that's okay. I mean, I don't know. People should want to bother him. But it could be he came to DJ and told DJ, I believe my wife's a, slutty whore, and she actually likes you. I think she'll mess with you. I think she'll do anything to me, and I need to know what kind of wife I'm dealing with, blah, blah, blah. I want you to, if she tries to hit on you or anything, because I think she likes you, then don't deny it. Just see how far she goes. I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to act like I'm mad at you, but I'm going to forgive you. It's not going to be a problem. I promise you. But I want to see who she is. That could have happened. Okay, it could have happened. Especially after listening to the conversation between them two. Not that I particularly have a problem with the way DJ responded, because realistically, that was that man's wife. So if he coming down on you, then that's just what's happening. I think it's good to humble yourself in that situation, because look, you were wrong. Regardless of who we're talking about, you still were wrong. That's that man's wife. And you knew that man and his wife, and you knew that was his wife. So there's no way, people should be expecting DJ to go in on JP. Let him have his little crap. At the end of the day, this dude still got a long way to go, because I know he's sitting on that other line holding his face. Probably got his boys listening to it and they laughing. And they probably clowned the junk out of him for the rest of the day. Like, dude, look at you this is why your wife was kissing me in the first place. But, anywho. So now you got to say, God, please forgive me for thinking like that. I was trying to repent, but I couldn't help it. I didn't expect him to come be such a dork. But anywho, here's another scenario. Mica has made claims about JP and his sexual lifestyle and the things that he does, and these cuckold type scenarios that he likes to force upon them both. And so we know that it's a good pattern of behavior for JP, allegedly, according to Mica, to be somewhat of a cuckold. Okay, and so he likes to force her into situations with other people. He could have came at her some kind of way. He could have said, I think you like him. I think you blah, blah, blah. You know how that went with Charlotte in that conversation? He could have, for some reason, told her, I want you to call him. I want you to call him up, call him to the beach, same spot, and see if, he's going to make out with you. He could have been playing one against the other, telling her he wants to test DJ, telling DJ he wants to test Mica. He could have told Mica, not even nothing about testing DJ. He could have said, just do it because I see you like the dude. And, he's going to get off on it. Which, he wanted details, y'all. So, Okay, so Mica and she calls DJ and JP is in the back hiding and watching, and Mica already knows this, right? So when they're having this conversation here, Mica already know that this is what JP forced to happen, just because she's not saying it here. And mind you, this is only a portion of this conversation. She could still be referencing it in this conversation along with a lot of other stuff that he did, because he's done so much sick and sinister things of the like and worse, that she is referencing the fact that you've done some crazy sick stuff. It's no need to particularly say, yo, you set this up. She way past that. That's small fry. That's lumped into everything. So I look at it in that way, and I think that she was just at that point. This is so much motive right here. I won't really get into all the ways that I think it's motive, but I think being that, I do have some experience in the criminal justice system, and having taken criminal justice computer forensics, I think my analysis and instinct is something that could definitely be a possibility and could be explored in so many ways and added as motive and behavior towards what happened to Mica. Okay. So with the next message we have, okay, so yeah, he said he didn't want to do it with you. Well, he did it though. So why is JP saying that? He's a grown man. When she first called him, this is allegedly, assumably out of the ordinary. Come meet me on the beach. Why? We don't hang out on the beach. What would I look like hanging on the beach with my pastor's wife, my boss's wife? Why would I come to the beach? What was said in that phone call to get him to come? So he came. So either he didn't want to do it and JP told him to do it, so he knows he didn't want to do it, or he didn't want to do it and you're saying that because you want this to reflect that Mica made a guy come kiss her on the beach? You're doing a good job, JP. That's all I want to say. Okay, so the next message is Caleb and Alethea, and he says, you're 10 years older than him. Does that feel good? What courtroom was this supposed to help JP in? Sir, which courtroom? She's not gonna be fighting for custody of your children. So you're pointing out that she's 10 years older than him because what? Who is this for? This little show you're putting on here. Who is this for? Because how much older are you than Mica? I rest my case. We don't even need to continue with that one. It's clearly him trying to have this as evidence against Mica. Her character, her judgment, her affair, if that's what you want to call it. Just any way he can use it. But it does not work because you have all these exclamation marks, you overactor, and you are older than that of Mica. To start, not to mention other juvenile situations that you are even older than said juveniles. multiple. So, there's that. So, the response is Eli and Allie. And final, we know Allie is the ex-wife, okay? So, he says, I don't believe this is my Mica. So, he wants to make it clear that he's texting with Mica because she's not really giving him much so far. Just names. He wants to make it clear that he is texting with Mica. My wife is not this person. So he's shocked and appalled because this is outside of her behavior. Well, good, JP. Because that lets us know that she's never came into this type of character before. This is the first time you're experiencing this with her. Well, good for you. All the time she's experienced worse with you. And this is the first time you're experiencing this with her. And this is not in her character. Now, that actually shows that she doesn't have a habit of being, maybe malicious or what have you. Even if it seems like it's a taunting text, a threatening text, or somehow a non-serious, playful type of text when he's talking about something serious, or if he's referring to the behaviors that took place with her and DJ. Either way, what you are saying is normally this is not Mica and you are shocked. Okay? So go and erase all the stuff you've been saying about Mica. Because otherwise, she's an absolute sweetheart. You're not used to all these wild and crazy behaviors from her that you have been trying to tell us. You're saying so right here in your text. Okay? Okay. So, it goes on to say, wait a minute. Okay, it says, in Jesus' name, I rebuke the demons of lust, adultery, lies, and divorce. Okay. Well, that didn't work out. The divorce part before. Okay, well, so JP, you rebuking now? I didn't even know you knew what that meant. But, hey, it didn't work on you, so you wanted to work on Mica? Because if it's repetitive in you, it clearly didn't work on you. Or did somebody else need to do it for you? Like you're trying to do it for Mica. You're rebuking the demons of those natures in her. But did you try to rebuke them in yourself? Because you're habitual with these things. Okay. All right. So he says, in Jesus' name, I use, I don't know. I'm not a mind reader, but LOSE, restoration, modesty, purity, and faithfulness. You know how they say you gotta do for you before you can do for somebody else. Put the oxygen mask on your face. I know you want to help your loved ones, but you can't if you can't breathe. So, we don't even got to keep going with that one. So, this is interesting. We get to Mica's reply, and the first part of it is they ran a Sharpie through it. We can't see it. Why? JP doesn't want us to know what this is. This is another bad blemish on you, sir. If you are trying to be transparent, then you can't blur something out. It doesn't work both ways. Unless it's personal information that you should not be disclosing, of someone, especially a party that doesn't have direct involvement, that makes sense. Other than that, the point of being transparent is that you're showing everything, even though this part I don't want y'all to see, or this part I don't want you to see, and it was just another topic added in the you still got to show it. You have to show it all. You can't mark out some and not show the rest and think that it has validity, because you lose all of everything you're trying to get us to believe. You are being transparent. We can understand the red Sharpie up here where you mark out the tail end of Mica's number and you leave just enough numbers, 18033, so that we know this is Mica. This is Mica's number. Right? It starts with these same numbers. You didn't mark out the whole, so we see you. Hello. That's transparent. Hey, listen. You are definitely being transparent there. Okay? We see you. You want it to show this is Mica's number, but I'm not going to give out a whole number. Okay, cool. But when you mark out some of this message, then this whole entire post that you made is irrelevant. You should have kept it. So now you posted something that works totally against your favor, and you did it for naught. There was 0% chance of you appearing to be transparent when, for one, we can see you trying to make sure we know it's Mica. And that's okay, but it just doesn't give off genuine. It shows you was on that BS from the jump, sir. You were sitting here trying to make sure that you have this set up for your wife. Sometimes couples do this junk when they get too bad for them, when they become enemies and they really need to get away from each other, which is what it looks like from these messages. And it looks like Mica became your enemy because you became hers. And so she was a problem and a threat to you. And you also, in acknowledging that and realizing that, you started to do things like set up stuff so you can have like stuff to use against her, and make sure that you play that role in the scenario to make yourself look one way and make her look another way, but also being clear so they lawyers can't say, Your Honor, speculation. No. This can be identified as being a conversation between you and your wife. Okay. What did you mark out? No worries. We have the rest of the message that you so happily shared with us. Affidavits of affairs. Affidavits. Whoa, baby. A written declaration made under oath. A notary public or other authorized user. A sworn statement in writing, a declaration in writing, signed and made upon oath before authorized magistrate. So Mica says affidavits with a S, of affairs with an S, in response to a person that is trying to call her out over a kiss, a one-time kiss. That statement coming behind or with something that you blurred out, ooh, baby, that tells us what is documented, what her lawyer has, what her family has. It's the real deal Holyfield, and it ain't good. So she says, not to mention my own testimony. Again, don't have no beef with the person who posted this. It's either JP themselves or it is them working on behalf of JP, and they all working on behalf of Satan, but look at God. Okay? I'm going to say this a lot. Look at God. Yeah. Not to mention my own testimony under oath. Can anybody say motive? Yes, motive. He blurred out something that was pretty doggone bad. He wanted court papers sealed or something that's pretty doggone bad. He wanted to prevent things being known that's pretty doggone bad. In her voice that we heard in this. Motive. Making it clear that her testimony was going to be powerful and it was going to happen. You think I'm scared? That's what she says next. You think I'm scared? More motive? Because this means never back down, never surrender. It's not going to happen. This will be going forward. Motive. Motive. She was a clear threat to him and everything that he has and he built, including his freedom. Motive. Which is all his fault, by the way. If he wouldn't have never did it, he would have never, chose to be Satan's spawn, then he wouldn't be in this situation. I'm just calling it what it is. She was a real threat to him, his probably life, and definitely to his freedom, amongst other things, and his quality of life. Because he not finna be this type of JP, unless the leaders snatch him on up and be like, come on, boy, you earned it. Come on over here with us. You good. So, she says, you've got an avalanche coming at you. If you lift a finger. Wow. That one stopped me dead in my tracks. And she said, don't test me. Wow. I just got to take a moment there, y'all. Wow. And he did not take heed. He did not. Wow. Wow. A large mass or body of snow and ice sliding swiftly down a mountain slide or falling down a precipice. Okay? A fall, a slide of a large mass of material, especially of snow, down a mountainside. I'm going to tell y'all another thing. I've always said from the beginning there was some things about this case that made it familiar and similar to me. I think sometimes these are some of the things that pulls us to stuff like this, or to anyone or anything. And there were some things that I had already pointed out and told you guys. April 27th, that was also the day that my mother passed. My oldest brother, her son, also passed on that day. When my mother, this was 19 years ago, she passed. When she passed, the song Sometimes It Snows in April from Prince was, something that I listened to in reference to this, because that's pretty much what it was like. It's snowing in April. And so I always, think of that song when I think about her and her passing and all of that. Here we are again. Avalanche, snow, snowing in April 27th. And there's some other things too, but just in reference to the avalanche, I just wanted to bring that up. So another reason why it kind of hit me and took me, and I said, wow, like that, is because she's talking about us, y'all. She's talking about her family and us. That's the avalanche. And for her to know this, further says to me, this is just part of something that's supposed to happen. Just like the person coming in here and making this post. Just like JP running his mouth. This is what's supposed to be going on. He's getting an avalanche, just like she said. And it's in the form of all justice for Mica warriors. So she says, you have an avalanche coming at you. If you lift a finger, don't test me. You tested her, JP? So he says, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to bring you to a place of repentance where you see that you are living in sin. JP, that was just a waste of type. Like, you typed that? Because it's not, it's just so, it's so below nothing. I feel crazy just even giving it some kind of analogy or response. This is, they say the pot calling the kettle black. No, baby, this is way worse than that. Y'all got to come up with something new for this one and put him in the category that Agatha may put him in, that we don't even know what category that is yet, but he gonna sit over there in that category. Let's put that over there, okay? But we also see that he's still acting. Okay, because that's what he's doing with this thread here, and he wants to look like JP the pastor. So what? I bet y'all didn't even know that sometimes he actually plays pastor. So we're learning new things about you, JP, all the time. Thanks for sharing. So now we know that you would sometimes play pastor. Okay, because I don't know about y'all. I was getting worried. I was like, so he just don't never be pastor? And everybody cool with it, but they calling him pastor? Like, is it just us? Are we the only ones on the outside that are kind of slow? Because everybody on the inside definitely already know what this is. Okay. So, she says, don't test me. Okay, I'm calling Allie. You asked for this. I think it's interesting that we don't have a date attached to this thread. A lot of people, I know I do, for identifying purposes, have the time and the date setting on the app of your text messages to show up. So, you might need to go back and reference something, remember something, prove something, and you have the stamp. He doesn't have that here. To me, that's kind of suspicious because it's too convenient not to have it. It's too useful not to have it. This is something you're better off with than without. But if you yourself want to hide stuff, then it's real convenient for you to have something. And I'm not even saying that it doesn't make sense for this to be beneficial without a date and time. Not that I can think of. But just, it could be something else and it could be presented. And it's like, dude, unless we have your records to go along with it on both sides from two separate companies, that it's not something you printed out or whatever. Is what I'm trying to say. But that show that this is the day and time that this happened, we can't use your screenshot of your text message to prove that this happened last Monday. Well, we don't know that because it doesn't say that. Oh, because you say so? No, that's not how this works. So it would be very convenient for somebody who always up to something. So he says, LOL, do whatever you want. All I want is for you to come to Jesus, not come home. Mind you, he's been saying to us, all this time, he wants Mica to come home. Take her medicine, come home. And she wants to what? Come home. Now, he didn't say she wanted to take her medicine. He said quite the contrary, but she wanted to come home. So before it was about coming home, here specifically, and only here, because he's playing pastor right now, it is come to Jesus. Forget about him. He's a humble guy all the way through and through this text. Come to Jesus, my child. So this is Pastor JP. Okay. We see you. Well, the next message is completely blacked out except for a B and an E together. What happened to that message? So you showing us the parts you only want to show us, and you marking out some of the stuff that she's actually saying, and you want us to be feeling you on this? Nah, that's not how that works. But good job, JP. You did not let us down. You talk about somebody dependable. This guy hadn't let us down yet. I know originally we felt like he was letting us down just from day one, for this to even be. And, still constantly just, but, if you change the way you look at it, he actually is not letting us down. Not at all. He's not letting Mica down either. He may have in the past, but he's not. She was the prophet. She was the powerful one. She was the one who had the relationship with Jesus. And maybe he was envious of that. And maybe because Satan and Jesus are natural enemies, maybe he always wanted to stomp that out. Because that's not what we do over here, That's not what he and his organization is about. That is just a cover because it presents well to the public, and they will trust it and they will come. He's very specific about whom he allows in, as I saw you guys discussing that again today. Because baby, if you're not a part of the club, what you gonna be doing there? Like, no, you can't do that. You can't go to Bohemian Grove or none of them places like that and just be like, I want to come too. Well, yeah, but no, not at all. You can try to sneak in, go undercover if you want. Good luck with that. But as far as us letting you in, oh, you thought this was like church? No, that's not what's really going on over here. But it just so happened that for whatever reasons, I'm not God, he was sent an opportunity. Because this is not someone who belonged there. But he was sent an opportunity, and this is what he chose to do with it. And he was prophesied to. He ignored that because he don't know what that looks like. He just knows what he got going on in his own world. Too much confidence. Too much confidence. It makes you slip. It makes you become unaware of what really is going on. And you never want to lose that insight, because then you find yourself in situations like this, JP. You find yourself in situations like this that you cannot get out of this hole, and it is the hole that you dug. And then after you realized you was in a hole, you just took the shovel and just started digging the hole deeper for yourself. And it's like, hold on, slow down, Slick. You got to pay attention to what's going on here. And you still haven't done that, and that's fine. But I'm pointing it out. Mica told you. See, this is a person that never wants to be held accountable and don't want their situation to be altered in any way. So he didn't sit back and weigh the odds. He didn't sit back and consider quite possibly what other scenario could I have here that might be, it could work somewhat in my favor more so than what I chose. Nah, you just went to that choice. Maybe you could have really truly worked something out with her. I don't know. It sounded like it was too bad that, she just had to. Part of breaking away and getting good with God is, would God want her to keep quiet? No. So there's that. However, I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't have went as far as you did to push her to that point. And there was probably a time where she could have left and just left you alone and prayed on it. And, eventually you still going to be where you are. But you pushed yourself all the way into this. And now we looking at you out here with hammer and nail. Every day he come out with a hammer and a nail. And his coffin is so thick that it takes him the entire day to get one nail in the coffin. And God say you must seal from one tip of the nail head to the next tip of the nail head around the entire coffin. And so it would be the equivalent of him putting the rail stakes in, working on chain gang. All day he is beating on that nail until it is good and tight in that coffin. And he comes back the next day with another nail and possibly, another hammer. That hammer probably got weak. And he beats that in. And we will watch him come out nail after nail after nail. He has all the nails he needs. And he's going to seal that coffin up. That's exactly what's happening here. This is a heavy post. Great thing about social media, we like Ashton Ketchum out here. We just gotta catch them all, baby. You can take it down, you can do what you want to do, but hey, once you put it up there, it's for the streets.